Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jeremy, founder of QuickMail.io.
Hey, and this is Jack from emailsthatsell.com.
Today, Teardown.
All right, let's do some teardowns. Today, I'm pretty pumped. We have some good emails. Well, these are emails that should make an interesting teardown because there's a lot of good stuff here. And frankly, I could see myself nabbing a few concepts here, but also making a few tweaks. By the way, for those of you curious, today's emails are courtesy of goodsalesemails.com. And you can go there and check out sort of a swipe file for cold emails. And anyways, we grabbed 2 cold emails that Jeremy and I are going to rip apart right now.
That's right.
So I'll go ahead and read email number 1. Subject line is, "Good day from Datorama. Hi, first name, happy Monday. I saw your company on LinkedIn and wanted to reach out. Cool to see what you guys are doing, ! Wanted to reach out because I'm working with some clients in your space on a really interesting marketing performance project. Given your background, I think you would find the strategy compelling. Would love to tell you more. Here's the quick pitch. We solve 2 problems. Number 1, marketing budgets are allocated in hundreds of different places. Making sense of it all is cumbersome, annoying, and slow. Number 2, it's hard to access and share marketing performance data. Decisions get fogged. It discourages curiosity. My company, Datorama, created a platform that does end-to-end media performance management. We completely eliminate the need to do data cleansing, harmonization, and manual data manipulation. Lots of awesome stories from my other clients like L'Oreal, Chevron, and Ticketmaster. Let me know if I can get on your dance card this week. Looking forward, signature."
All right.
Let me kick things off here. A couple things they did well, but right off the bat, I noticed that this is the most personal sounding cold email I've read that has no personalization in it. If you look at the text, and we'll put it on the show notes, but there's not even a place where the company name was dropped in. Like, as I'll get to in a moment, there's so many places where they could have added in some good personalization, but you read through it quickly and you almost don't realize it's a template. So the tone is pretty good.
Yeah, I like it too. I think when I look at it, I feel like it's very close to gold. And Jack and I have this sort of rating system. And it's like bronze, silver, gold, and then platinum, when it's really awesome.
When you have to reply.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is close to gold. It's probably a good silver. But we're going to go over some of the points that I think it miss, and I'm sure you do too, and try to transform that into a platinum and how this will sound like.
Let's go line by line. Like you said, let's kick things off with the subject line. It's "Good day from Datorama." Anything there, Jeremy?
Oh, yeah. That's actually one thing is that I don't know what Datorama is. I would have preferred if they actually say where they're actually sending the email from.
Oh, that's cool.
So it could have been like, "Hey, good day from San Diego," or "Good day from Zurich."
There you go.
That would have been like way more personal straight away because right from the start, the subject is just adding jargon. I never heard about this company, so it could have been any word for that matters.
That's true.
In fact, I read it too quickly and I read Daytona for some reason. I missed it already.
The company name, Datorama, is not capitalized, so your eyes don't really pick up it's a company, especially if you're not familiar with it. So, "Good day from Datorama," I don't know. I was expecting kind of an Australian company. Maybe they are, but just like you, Jeremy, I didn't know who they were. So nothing intriguing per se about the subject line. But also, I'm not quite ready to ding them any points just because, as we've found out, subject lines, as long as they're not deceiving, they should get you some opens. Let's keep it moving. The intro line, "Happy Monday. I saw your company on LinkedIn and wanted to reach out. Cool to see what you guys are doing." I need to take this one for a second because, everyone listening probably has seen a cold email that says, I don't know, "Saw your company on LinkedIn," or "Cool to see what you guys are doing." That fits any company. And it may be the case that they appreciate what the company is building or that they did find them on LinkedIn, but come on, put some context there. Tell us what flagged us as an interesting company worth reaching out to on LinkedIn. Or Even better, just tell us what they like about the product they're working on or the company. So when it says, cool to see what you guys are doing, I would have much rather have seen, cool to see that you guys are building a solution for architects, that need XYZ. I don't know. Just this is where a little bit of personalization could go a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have put something like, cool to see what you guys are doing, ... You could say in the cold email space, for example. Already that would have been better and better targeted. The Happy Monday also made me laugh because we got something similar in QuickMail when you could put like an equal day that would actually just get whatever day you're sending at.
Very true.
I always found that like sort of amusing, like a toy kind of thing. But I'm going to give them points, not for the Happy Monday, which I honestly think they could have dropped. It doesn't add anything. But I saw your company on LinkedIn is a good thing because that's basically my first question is, why are you contacting me? Unless you reply to this question, I'm just going to have it on the back of my head for the whole duration of reading your email. So congrats on answering straight away instead of presenting yourself, which at this stage, I don't give a crap, honestly. So it's great that you say, I found you on LinkedIn, or this is where I find your email, I found you on Twitter, whatever. Then I can mentally just go to, okay, what's the next stage for me?
The next step here, I'll quickly read through this and we'll tear it down. It says, wanted to reach out because I'm working with some clients in your space on a really interesting marketing performance project. Given your background, I think you would find the strategy compelling. Would love to tell you more. Okay, first thoughts, Jeremy.
It's the same problem about generalization. It could have been, I think you love to learn how we manage to double response rate with a quick hack that we tried last month, for example, or something, that is a bit more specific because, like you said, it could apply to pretty much anyone, any company at this stage. It's just too vague. But one thing I would say there is a theory of, I think it's something about the chaotic mind. And basically, human brain is making sense of things that doesn't actually necessarily make sense. So I'm not sure if you heard about that, but there are some people who produce some fake algorithmically produced paper, scientific paper that no one can understand and make sense of, but you read it and it kind of makes sense, but it doesn't make sense kind of thing. And I got the same impression with this email. It's like, it kind of makes sense, but it doesn't really make sense, kind of thing.
It looks like it should fit, but...
Yeah, exactly. It's weird.
But if you take a closer look... Okay, yeah, I've got the similar notes here. Just get concrete with it, particularly when you say working with some clients in your space. Like if you skip all the way down to that second to last line, it says lots of awesome stories from other clients like L'Oreal, Chevron, and Ticketmaster. Well, why save that for the end of the email when you may lose your prospect?
Oh, good point.
Because you haven't hooked them right away. So as a copywriter, your job is to get the prospect or the reader to read your first line. And then your next job is to get them to read the second line. And the next job is to get them to read the third line and so on until they get to the final call to action, the final line of your copy. So I think they buried the lead here. They should have included L'Oreal, Chevron, and Ticketmaster in this next section, because then if you've got the eyeballs on that second paragraph, dropping names like this should help prove that you're worth continuing to read the email. I think they may have lost some readers by burying it.
That's right. And instead of putting lots of awesome stories from dropping names, it could have been something like, you merge this paragraph. Instead of saying, I think you will find the strategy compelling, you could very well say something along the lines of, I think you find how we managed to reduce the bounce rate to less than 1% for L'Oreal, Chevron, Ticketmaster. Something like that. And happy to share how we did it.
Way more compelling than just saying, really interesting project. It's vague, but I will give them half a point for creating some curiosity. I sort of wanted to find out what was so interesting about it, but good enough. I have one more note here and then we can move on. There's a line that says, given your background, I think you would find the strategy compelling. Well, this is a perfect place to use a merge tag. So let's jump into our prospecting brains here and let's pretend we've got a spreadsheet of prospects in front of us. Maybe it's on Google Sheets, big fan. I would have a column created right next to the job title for all these prospects, and I would call it background. And then I would have someone on my team go through each of these prospects' LinkedIn page, or maybe even just their job title if it's specific enough, so that if you're reaching out to, let's say, just a group of marketers at companies, the marketers are going to have job titles like, let's say, PPC and ad spend, or they may say search marketing, whatever, like typically there's some specifics on their job title or at least definitely on their LinkedIn page. Just grab one of those sort of keywords. So you say, given your background in PPC or given your background in search marketing, like, wow, like then that's pretty easy to do. And if you're reading this, this is going to be the one cold email you got that week that someone actually went the extra step and called out what it was about their background that explained why they're getting this email.
Yeah, and that's an easy step to move from silver to gold.
Right.
Probably wouldn't take you so long. And the other thing that if you're really allergic to customization and merge tag, just create a custom audience, like an audience that is specifically targeting marketing people, and just say, given your background in marketing, just simple as that.
So much better.
It's not like there is one background per person kind of thing. So no excuse there.
Let's keep it rolling here. By the way, none of us called this out, but there's a line here that said, would love to tell you more. Just take that out. Of course, you'd love to tell them more. You're selling here. So here's a quick pitch, and we got points 1 and 2. I don't think we need to read through those again, but quick thought on my side is if you've got bullet points, break those bullet points up into different emails. This almost always makes an email easier to read. It simplifies things so people sort of get the point that you're trying to get across in a very short amount of time. And it helps cut down on the text on the emails. You may find that people will read the email more. And also, this is going back to an earlier episode, but there's a reciprocity factor in play here. If you send somebody a very long email, they may feel that in order to do right, they need to respond with a lengthy message as well. And bottom line is shorter emails tend to get higher reply rates. So I say break those bullet points up into 2 separate emails.
For all those one who have trouble finding value in a follow-up, this is just gold. You could just take, instead of putting multiple points, you just put one, and in a few days later, you say, we also solve this type of problem too. Does that actually sound like a problem that's worth considering? But in this case, what I would say is, I think it's way too wordy at this stage. And it's also confusing. There's just like too much things. And the other thing that bothered me is they're focusing on problems, instead of focusing on what they solve. And we could say like, oh, Jeremy, you're just nitpicking. But in fact, it's actually pretty important. So you could say, we help solving 2 main points, right? To give you the ability to easily and quickly find the best marketing ROI channel across all your channels, or something that I'm looking forward to. Because here it's like making sense of it all. It's just like, what does that really mean? What does that actually bring me? So there's no value added by exposing the problem. I would prefer that they expose what I gain rather than the problem.
There's a copywriting formula that is basically problem, agitate, solve. And the idea here is that you bring the problem to the reader's attention, you exaggerate it so that they can see what would happen if they don't solve this problem immediately, and then crucially, you introduce a solution. What I think this email does wrong is the solution is not emphasized enough. It's not clear how they can just completely take this off your hands. And sure, they have a line that says we eliminate the need to do data cleansing and stuff, but I'm going to agree with you here. They sort of fizzled on the solution part of it. So maybe dial back problem and just make it crystal clear that this is going to help them do X, Y, and then insert end benefit written for this prospect so that, it's not just benefiting the company by, improving their ROI. Every company tries to do that. But if you can tie this into this prospect's responsibilities, to say like, and it'll help running marketing meetings, whatever their specific role is, if you can make it clear how they will be acknowledged for solving a big problem at their company, that's even better.
Yeah, and if you follow the advice of Jack about splitting instead of having all those points that you're trying to cram into one email, and you're really insisting on mentioning a problem, then now you got a bit more space. So you should say like, we help you easily and quickly find the best marketing ROI channel. We know it's very difficult to make sense of all those data. That way you got your solution, your problem, it's one, and it's still less verbose than putting those 2 points. So that's the idea.
Okay, let's talk about the CTA real quick. It says, let me know if I can get on your dance card this week. Something I like, it keeps up with the friendly tone here, but I find it to be a bit weak. It's not asked, there's no question mark here. And I would like to see a more direct CTA tested here. Something like, does this sound like it may help budget allocation at company? Question mark.
Love it.
By the way, Jeremy and I put together a free resource for those of you looking to make some CTA A/B tests or just write better cold emails. Check out quickmail.io/goodies and download the free CTA Swipe file. It's got over, I think, 100 CTAs that you can copy and paste into your email, even more. And it's being updated by us sort of weekly as cool CTAs come to our attention. So check it out.
Yeah, that's right. I got exactly the same thing. I got like, it's super weak. It's a bit like, yeah, let me know if you come to my town one day. It's just like, okay. I think you're leaning too heavily on your email sending itself.
There you go.
Without giving like clear direction as to if that sounds like something that you could benefit from, just give me a call or give me some times that works for you. Happy to jump on a call whenever that suits you better. Something like that will be way better.
And don't feel bad as you're writing your CTAs. Be explicit with what you want the reader to do. It's for their best interests. I mean, really, like we're busy and mentally lazy, and that's not an insult. That's just human nature. So spell it out and you'll get more people taking action. All right. Should we proceed to the next batch of cold emails?
Let's do it.
Okay. So this one, we've got one cold email with follow-ups. So we're going to tackle each email sort of one by one. The first...
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see what we get through here. Subject line is, company, respond faster to customers. Hi, I've seen from your website that you're getting repetitive support requests. I'm the title of Georgias. We help support teams treat all customer support in one screen. This way, the support team can respond faster to customers. Do you think it could help company? If so, happy to tell you how. Here's my calendar link, and I can show you a demo, parentheses, we're in SF2, signature. All right, Jeremy, take it.
I would say it's a classical case study of what worked in 2017. But, we're in 2019, and I don't think that cuts it anymore.
What are you speaking to specifically here?
Well, it's every line is pretty much like a sort of, it's been used again and again as sentences, as phrases. They probably downloaded a template on the internet, changed a few things, and off you go, right? So, of course, there is like no personalization. Of course, there is like, I'm the insert title of Georgias. It's like, I don't care. I can see your signature. There's like those typical mistakes.
Classic.
Yeah, classic. And then it's like, I've seen from your website, again, there's no customization. Not my style.
I have to bring up the line that says, I've seen from your website that you're getting repetitive support requests. That's a little bit interesting. It's not so different.
Yeah, but that's not correct.
Well,
it's just like, you can't do that. So what's the point? It's just like...
Let's really get granular here and then we'll move away from it. I believe a lot of web apps...
The first line is a straight BS. What did you want to read next?
I don't know. No, I'm going to say maybe not. Here's what I think happened. You can go to a lot of web apps and there's like support.domain. And usually that pulls up here. I bet you they looked up companies that were using, I don't know, what is the support software? Zendesk or something. Show me companies that use Zendesk. And then they just built a list from there. And obviously any company who's got support ticket software, okay, yeah, they've got repetitive support requests and they probably just went at it from there. But I'm giving them a little credit because at least they're saying, I'm contacting you because you keep getting support requests, repetitive ones. I sort of like that, but I can see how it's template form. It does look like every other email, but hopefully their list building was on point because they're only getting companies that have a lot of support tickets.
That's fair enough. So how about you sort of give your take on this email? There's only one thing I have to say on this email, and it's at the end on the last line.
Yeah, let me guess. Is that we're in SF2?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's good. What is this?
I think that's the only good points I will give. And it's a shame it's at the end, by the way.
True. Okay, so let's see. I did like how they at least called out about the fact that they know that they're getting a lot of repetitive support requests. I mean, I'd be interested to see how they're finding that out. But anyways.
BS.
Yeah, Jeremy, we're on the same page here. In my notes here, I've got that intro I just gave my soapbox about. I've got the SF line, and then there's only one other one. It says, I'm the title at this company, and I have it removed. Everything else, we've seen it before.
Let's go to the interesting part of this email. Is that bracket at the end that says we're in SF2, right? And it comes like an afterthought. And that's a shame because that's probably your biggest selling point at this stage is like, hey, we're local. We're playing the local card.
Right.
So here's how I would actually have done it. I would have done a bit more customization, first of all, because, hi doesn't cut it anymore. At least know who you're contacting, especially if they're in your local area.
For those listening, Jeremy's talking about there's no first name personalization. It just says hi and gets into the email.
I would push, a bit further. I'll say something like, and by the way, happy to come and show you if that works better for you. And then you can insert a benefit that you can only do when you're there physically. So it could be, I could also bring some croissant and some coffee if this is the morning.
Perfect.
Anything physical of value. I remember when I interviewed Anand, the co-founder of Lead Genius, I asked him at the end at the webinar, how I can say thanks and send him something. And he basically told me like, I really love dark chocolate. So if you can send me some dark chocolate. And so I did. But, if you manage to be to that level of personalization, you're going to get an answer. So it could be like, happy to bring some dark chocolate. I heard that you really love them. So something like that. I guarantee you're going to get an answer and some goodwill straight away baked into the response.
A couple things left on the table that they could have done to spice this up and probably get some more good replies. And there's a couple follow-ups here. So I'm counting 3 follow-ups to this cold email. Let's call it a series here.
Including a breakup email at the end.
Yeah, we have to cover that.
We did last episode.
That's right, yeah. So, we're fresh off the topic of breakup emails, so that'll certainly be a good email teardown here. But let's quickly go to the first follow-up, and then maybe we'll skip to the breakup email. Sounds good?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. So here's the first follow-up. It says, company respond faster to customers. So they just kept the same subject line. Hi, did you have any feedback? I know lack of context on support messages is a big problem for commerce businesses. I would highly appreciate your response or a referral to your colleague at company that I should be speaking with. If this is not of interest to you, please just let me know and I won't contact you again. Winky face. Thanks.
Winky face. Like if it excuses the poor cold email.
Do you want to kick this off or should I get started?
No, I can do it. So actually, I would give them a point for changing their benefit. And we're a big fan of that. I think they're playing a different angle.
Right.
And I really love that. I like seeing that. This is clearly showing that, I'm going to let you know about a different benefit in case it works better for you or you identify better with this problem.
This is basically the opposite of your classic bump email. They've actually added something new to the conversation that may be the selling point, the value prop that this prospect really cares about.
Yeah, and the problem is that they wasted this sort of like good point with their CTA or non-existent CTA. There is no question mark. Again, double check our CTA Swipe file and you'll see that every CTA we have contains a question mark because we actually want the person to answer.
Yeah.
And they also frame it in a way that says, basically, reply to me so I stop contacting you. It's just like, that's not really what you want. You want the opposite. So reply to me so we can move forward, not reply to me so I won't contact you again. It's just kind of odd.
And I read that last call to CTA if you want, but I like the offer. There's nothing wrong with saying like, look, if I'm off track here, just let me know. I won't fill your inbox up with something irrelevant. That's fine. Put it in a PS. That may be good for it.
That's right.
Use instead a more direct CTA. But there was one line that rubbed me the wrong way and it sort of pissed me off. It says, I would highly appreciate your response or a referral to your colleague at company that I'm speaking with. So first of all, I bet you would highly appreciate it, but come on, like it's almost sitting over on the other side of the computer and saying like, I'm waiting and I would appreciate the tone sucks on that line.
If you can do my work, please.
Jeez. Yeah, right. And finally, it's like, I would appreciate your response or referral to your colleague at company. Well, what other company would I be referring you to? Like
as a colleague.
yeah. So it's like, come on, man, you just help yourself out. I don't know. That line just sort of ruined the whole email for me. Maybe that's something personal that is just on my mind at the moment and no one else would agree, but I hated that line. Everything else you covered good.
No, I hated it too. And what I really didn't like is that he already gave up on convincing me and he's already asking me for a referral. It's just like, dude, it's only the first follow-up, give it more chance.
Agreed. Okay.
You just varied the benefit. So I don't know, weird.
Buried the benefit under a bunch of, please, like tell me to get lost. I'm ready to leave. Okay. So let's read this breakup email and wrap up today's Teardown episode here. By the way, if you want some more good Teardown knowledge, just check out the appropriate podcast episode on breakup emails. It should be the one just before this episode.
Episode 90.
Episode 90. Thank you, Jeremy. So they used the same subject line. It just says, company respond faster to customers. Hi, I understand you're very busy and getting all customer support in one place might not be your priority, so this will be the final email. Should you decide to respond, I'll be glad to discuss how Georgios can help agents respond faster to customers by seeing data from the back office next to their message. Here's my calendar link just in case. I will also appreciate if you forward my communication to a person at company that would be best to discuss customer support. Thanks. Oh my goodness. They did it again.
I love the just in case you're really interested because, I don't believe you will be.
Right.
So here's my calendar link, but it's just in case.
It's dismissive, right? It's like, this obviously isn't for you.
Yeah.
And, to be fair, that's the point of a breakup email is just to let them know that you tried and you're basically not going to try again. And this offer is sort of going away. But
that's right. But in this case, it's like defeated.
Yeah. They did a unique thing where they made it like they're letting us know that we're probably sending this to the wrong person, but they used a tone that says like, this will be the final email. It's like, in short, it doesn't make me like the company after reading this breakup email, which is to me the sweet spot you want to be in.
That's right. This is again an opportunity missed because I think the work on the benefit is pretty well done. I mean, it could be improved for sure in terms of wording, and although I may not be their target audience, but it could be improved with a little bit of copywriting as to showing the benefit. But there is some variation about it. I really enjoy that. I mean, this is cool. It's like showing me a different light, a different angle every time. It's pretty well done, and it's a shame that all around is pretty much like wasting this.
Great point, Jeremy.
Oh, maybe it's an SDR that just asked the marketing guy to just give them some benefits so he could add them in their template.
Could. That's right. And insert great benefit right here into a mediocre template. Okay, well, fair enough. But really quick, I just want to kind of go through it. I've bashed this email quite a bit, and I just want to put my 2 cents in to see how I would go about cleaning this up. So the first line's pretty much there. It's just a tone problem. I would change it so that it's something like, I understand that you're very busy and getting all of customer support's messages in one place may not be a top priority at the moment. So I'll assume that you're not ready to handle this at the moment. Okay, fair enough. Making an assumption about someone should help them reply. Anyways, if you would like to just reply with a yes, and they did a great job here saying, I'm glad to discuss how we can help. And then like you said, and insert this great benefit. Here's my counter link just in case, no problem. And then just remove this last line that says, I would appreciate if you forward my... They'll do that if they find that it's important enough. And just a nice sign off where it's like, thanks for your time. Boom, that's it.
Yeah, it's a bit like they're desperate at this stage. One thing I would do actually in a breakup email, I know we talked about it last cast. Actually, we didn't talk about it last cast. That's why I'm adding here. Is that if you're assuming that this person is busy and that's why they're not responding to you, then give them the opportunity to act on it. So one of my CTA will then be, I say, hey, I understand you may be very busy, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to, stop emailing you. But just in case you can see that as a priority next year or in the future, just let me know when I should contact you back, right? Because then that also gives the opportunity of the person to say, you know what? Yeah, that's cool. I'm very busy right now. I can't really think of anything. talk to me back in 6 months.
Or maybe even just saying like, P.S., if timing's not right, should I circle back in 4 months?
Yeah, do like Jack. Somehow he's speaking better English than me. I don't know why.
Okay, but the point is you're giving them the option to
Exactly.
explain what they need.
They could tell you like, hey, I'm not in a position right now to evaluate your offer. It doesn't mean like I don't want to hear from this potential offer. It's just like I'm focusing on a different part of my business right now. So talk to me again in 6 months.
And guess what happens whenever you have somebody says, yeah, sure, circle back in 6 months. When you do, you have this sort of chip in your back pocket that you can say, hey, Jeremy, 6 months ago, you asked me to follow back up with you about XYZ so we could talk about insert main benefit. How does this week look for getting 15 minutes on your calendar? Then you can go straight for the kill, so to speak, because they've told you to come back to them. And typically, whenever somebody tells you, okay, come back at this date, it's much easier to secure a phone meeting than it would be if they never replied in the first place.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what? Very few people do that. Unbelievable. I've been replying to a lot of cold emails saying like, yeah, talk to me again in 3 months, talk to me again in 6 months, whatever. And people just don't do that. It always amazes me because they're in like that one use prospect kind of mentality and not in a building relationship. And it's just like never stop amazing me because persistence, intelligent persistence always work.
And it could simply be that the SDR or the company doesn't have the workflow set up so that they can stay on top of people who have said, come back to me.
How hard is that to just put a note in your calendar, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're just like driven by the mentality of closing the quota as fast as they can. Maybe there's a lot of turnover in their company, so I don't know. Or they realize it was a startup and they realize it failed. I don't know.
It could be, but before we close the cast out, do you have any like workflow tips for people who want like an easy way to stay on top of people who have said, yeah, come back in 2 weeks or 6 months or whatever?
I think a lot of people I know, they're using Boomerang and they just basically give an entry or they just use their, most CRMs got this functionality. It's not rocket science.
Exactly.
And like Jack said, it's already like a warm lead at this stage because you know that they would be potentially interested.
Play the long game and make sure to stay on top of people, especially if they've asked you to reach back out. Sort of an easy win there. It
was a Teardown. Great cast, Jack.
Great cast. See ya.
We'll keep the rest for another episode.
Hey, cold emailer.
Yeah, you.
If you got some value from this episode, give us a high vibe by sharing a 2-sentence review on iTunes.
Or Stitcher or TuneIn. That works too.
It's a quick way to help other growth-minded folks like us find this podcast.
So they can send awesome emails.
And make everyone's inbox a better place. Thanks.